Okay, says that we're live. So, hi everyone. I hope you can see us. I'm gonna actually check on Facebook if it actually is live because I never trust this thing. But it says that we're live, so I should trust it. Let me see. As soon as I can find us, I'll believe that it's live. Okay, I see us. We're live. All right. So this is Jose, and I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about him. I did his numbers like what, a month ago? Was it like a
Yeah,
month
something
ago?
like that.
And he has really incredible numbers. And I did Steph's numbers, who a lot of people know. I did his numbers right before Jose on the same day, and they have very similar numbers. I would have loved to have Steph and Jose at the same time. Like, I just didn't think to do that, but that would have been really cool because you guys both have the same numbers, just a little bit of a different variation. So, anyway, hi, Whitney. I'm glad that you're here. Whitney's going to be with me when I don't remember when your session is. Um, I'm looking on my calendar because I can't remember. I think it's the 14th, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I wrote it on there actually, but but anyway, yeah, the 14th. Okay, so Whitney is gonna come on, and we're gonna do a relationship reading with her and her husband. Well, her husband's not gonna join, but she's gonna be here, and it's going to be really fun. Oh, and Catherine's going to be here on the 7th, I think. I'm really great with dates, aren't I? Um, but yeah, so these are all the ones that I'm going to be doing, which is amazing. Hi, Monica. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Jennifer. So Jose, can you see comments?
Yeah, I have to press I'm on my phone, so if I press the
Okay.
comments, yeah, the comments are coming
Okay.
up.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you could see them. I mean, I don't know how much it matters, but anyway, so we're going to do Jose's numbers today as if I was giving him a numerology reading. I mean, well, I am going to give him a numerology reading, but I already did. So he's going to probably hear a lot of the same things that I told him before, but he may actually hear different things because I get different messages to talk about every time because the guides want you to know certain things at certain times. So it's kind of like it could be the same exact stuff or it could be totally different. We just don't know. We're just going to do it and see. So hopefully it's amazing. so um okay. So if anyone is on here and they have not allowed StreamYard to show their name and their picture, then just go ahead and do that. That should be at the top of here. Actually, I'm going to put it in the comments. All you have to do is click this link to give permission, and you only have to do it one time ever. And then every time we're on StreamYard, we can always see who you are and what you want to say. So, and if you guys have questions as we go, you can totally just ask questions. And at the end, I will answer any questions that you have for a little bit at least. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm gonna do it exactly like I would normally do it. So I'm gonna like just pretend that you've never met me, kind of at first. So, but okay. So tell me what your birthday is.
My birthday is November 17, 1977.
And you would think that I would remember that because like I'm like yours are ones that I really do remember, but I had no idea what it was honestly, except for the sevens. So okay. So I just have to draw it and then I'll tell you about it a little bit. So before we get started. Okay. So so basically what I always say at the beginning of every reading, I always say the same thing, or some version of the same thing anyway. I always say that numerology is the study of numbers and how they apply to your life. The idea is that we reincarnate many times, and we do that because we're trying to learn all the aspects of what it is to be human and what it's like to interact with other souls that are being human right now. The idea behind what we're doing is that we're trying to understand as much as we can about this experience before we move on to whatever the next experience is. And a lot of us are in the same soul tribe. You're probably in the same soul tribe as us because um, that's probably why you're attracted to this kind of stuff right now, because all of our soul tribe is moving on soon. We're all ascending to whatever the next level of learning is. And I don't know what that is, but what I do know is that we come here over and over until we understand the full scope of what it is to be human. And then we all actually ascend as a soul tribe. And a soul tribe is really big. It's like hundreds and thousands of souls. And so a lot of us are feeling an urgency right now to kind of get it right and to understand why we're here and what we're doing here and things like that. So the reason why I do the work that I do is because I am here to awaken you back to your plans. I'm trying to help you remember who you are, and who you are is a powerful creator. You're somebody who has, like everybody has the ability to create their environment, to create their world. We manifest the world around us. And the more that we understand that and we step into that power, the better we are at accomplishing these plans. So basically, every lifetime you make a plan, you record that plan into your birthday, and then numerology is the language that reads that plan. So this reading is not to be considered a psychic reading. It is basically a remembrance type thing. It's a very odd feeling where if you've ever had a reading with me, you might know what I mean. It's like I'm going to tell you things that feel right, but you don't understand why they feel right. Like you don't understand when you knew this or when you forgot it, but it's like I tell you things that somehow you already know. You know, that's kind of what a reading like this is. Sorry, my camera's shaking. My dog is laying on it. So he keeps like shaking it. I can't reach him with my feet. He's under my desk, but I can't reach him. Otherwise, I would like just push him a little bit, but I can't. So anyway, so the camera might shake a little. Anyway, there is a psychic element to my readings, though I do say that these are not to be considered psychic readings, but truthfully, there is a part that's psychic where I do channel from my spirit guides, and I channel from your spirit guides when I connect to your energy. And I also deliver messages from them directly to you. So if I ever tell you anything in the present, that's usually from your guides. And if I tell you about your plans, that's in your birthday. That's your plan that you made. There was something that my guides were telling me today when I was getting ready to do this. I was just like cleaning up after the cats and doing stuff, and I was told that I was supposed to talk about doing this kind of work. I don't talk about this a lot, but I talk about this sometimes. It is like okay, so first of all, the kind of work that I do is something that anyone can do. This is not special. This is just something that I have learned. This is something I have learned and practiced a lot, and that's why I'm really good at it. Anyone can learn this, anyone can practice this, anyone can do any of the things that any medium or any psychic does. You have the same ability as anybody else has. It's just a matter of learning it and practicing it. So I just want you guys to know that. But I was told to talk about this because the guides wanted me to talk about how when you do this kind of work with someone else, like when you trust someone like me, or you trust a medium or a psychic or somebody like that to connect to your energy, be careful when you do that, because I am actually connecting to your energy field. Like I am connecting to your actual essence. And what I'm doing is I'm coming into your energy field, and I'm feeling what you're about and who you are and things like that. You're giving me permission to do that when we do this kind of work. So be very careful whenever you hire someone like me, or whenever you hire any kind of medium or psychic or anything like that, because what we are doing is actually connecting to your energy field, and we are entering that field. So like, it's really important that I disconnect when I'm done with this work. Otherwise, I walk around, connected to you. So that's my end of it. But your end is really important. If you get any kind of bad feeling about someone that you're sitting with like this, always disconnect immediately. Like, always stop the reading and walk away, because not everyone has good intentions for connecting to your energy field. So like, just so you know, the way that people can get manipulated sometimes is by somebody who is maybe an opportunist, and they will come into your energy field and feel what you need, and then they will play you that way. They will tell you things based on that, and they will kind of sense your weaknesses, and then they will do things to manipulate you. So be careful when you connect to people like this, because this is like really letting yourself be vulnerable, and only do this with people that you really trust. My guides were telling me this message really strongly today, that I was supposed to talk about this, because I don't think that everyone understands what this work is. Like, I don't think that you understand that for me to receive messages from your guides and directly deliver them to you, I have to actually be inside your energy field a little bit. Okay. So just, I don't know, just like a public service announcement, I guess I was told to say. So just know that, guys. Anyway, I don't usually talk about that, but I was getting that message really strongly today. So it's got to be important for somebody, for a lot of you probably. Anyway, so Jose, these are your numbers, and I'm going to show you your chart. I drew it a little bit wonky, but it's fine. So I'm going to show you your chart, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. So this is your chart.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the three aspects of being human: the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. Anything that is in the spiritual, those are all of your, anything that's in the spiritual or the mental, those are all your superpowers or your gifts for this lifetime. Anything that is in the physical, those are the obstacles that get in your way. And anything that is in this column, these are all your goal numbers for this lifetime. And the one that is circled is your main goal for this lifetime. You can see that you have nothing in the physical. That does not mean that you don't have any obstacles or that life is easy. The human experience is hard for everyone, and all that means is that you don't have extra obstacles. So like, a lot of people have extra obstacles there, like for instance, I have an 8 there, and the 8 really gets in my way and makes life really hard for me. You don't have anything extra there. So what that means is not that you don't have obstacles, but that yours are more self-created. Like, not that everything's self-created, because life is just, earth life is not easy for anybody, but a lot of your problems are something that you can solve easier than most people, because there's something that you chose to have, rather than, there's something that you kind of took on in this life as like a social condition. Usually they're not something that you took on in this life as a lesson. So if that makes sense. Anyway, so just because it's clear doesn't usually mean that your life is like so easy. Like nobody really has an easy life. Some people appear that way, but they don't really. It just means that you don't have extra obstacles. Anyway, so when I look at your chart, of course, the big thing that I see is that you have all these repeating numbers. Like you have 3 7s and 3 1s. And when you have numbers like that, it's like they really stand out, even if you just have one set like that. And your family tends to have that. Like you have that a lot in your family, which is kind of cool. What that means is that you have very concentrated energy that you're working on. So like, you're not just working on learning this one thing, you're working on embodying this one thing, on like becoming all of this number that you can, because numbers vibrate at a certain vibration. And so when you just have a number in your chart, you kind of want to learn all about what that number's like and what it's like to be that number. And you learn all the good things and the bad things about that number throughout your lifetime. Well, when you have like double numbers or triple numbers, you're actually going to embody that number. So you're going to become all of these things. You're not going to just kind of like have it and know it. You're going to actually become it. And what that means is that, so like the ones, okay, I'll tell you all about the ones, but when you look at the ones, I want you to know that you are the full embodiment of that, the good and the bad, because you're trying to understand it so fully. You're trying to become it as a lifestyle almost. Oh, I think I lost you. Oh,
Nope, sorry about that.
okay, that's okay. Okay, so the one is the crown chakra. I like to talk about what chakras they are related to because I like you to know when you're in balance and when you're out of balance. I like for you to know that. I like for you to understand that. So you'll be able to tell when you're in balance, when you're in the good parts of this number, and when you're in the bad ones. So the one is the crown chakra. Like I said, it is your connection to source or God or the higher power. It's also your connection to your higher self or the angels, whatever you believe in, to be the higher power. Those are the things that this number connects you to. Um, and you are someone who is very well connected. You are someone that is that you feel that connection. You're somebody who feels like you have the whole force with you, kind of like, because you also have a spirit guide connection because of your sevens. So you're very well connected in both parts. So you're somebody who is like, you're going to feel like if you believe in God, that God is with you, or if you believe that there's a higher power, you're going to believe that that higher power is actually walking with you on the earth. You're not going to feel a disconnect like a lot of people have. There's a lot of people that have this disconnect where they're not sure and they feel very alone and they're not sure like what they're doing with their life. And you're not going to have that. You're going to have this very like strong knowing that you came here for a purpose and you came here practically holding hands with your creator. Like that's kind of how it feels. You're not going to feel like that every moment of your life, but that's going to be your overall feeling of your life. um, you are somebody who is very determined to be yourself and an individual. You won't be told what to do or how to do it. You are a leader, not a follower. You couldn't be a follower if you wanted to be. You are someone who's always in charge. I remember like when I first did your numbers and Star was sitting next to you. And Star is his wife. You're welcome to be on camera, Star. But I remember saying to her, he's very stubborn, but he's right. So like I hate saying that to couples, especially when it's like the man,
Oh,
yeah. I like saying it when it's the woman, but he's gonna fight for things, but he's always gonna be right. He's not gonna be fighting for no reason. And that's because he has a lot of wisdom behind that fight. So Jose, you're somebody who you gather a lot of wisdom and you use that wisdom. And so when you're fighting because it's the right thing to fight about. And even in a relationship, it just is. It's usually that he knows the right way. So I kind of hate saying that, though. I hate saying that because I hate giving a man that extra power, but
they don't need it.
Yeah. But it's good because it's good because he's a really good leader for the family because of that. Like he's gonna be very wise and he's gonna guide you guys well. That's why it's good.
And he does.
Yeah, I would assume he does. Okay, so because you have 3 ones, the 3 ones say that you're somebody that could speak about your beliefs. You could become a preacher or a motivational speaker or something like that. And that's kind of why I've told you before, like I could see you being a motivational speaker or something, because you're somebody who is totally willing to profess your beliefs to the world. It's not necessarily that you have to have like religious beliefs that you want to tell the world, but you're somebody who has a very strong belief system and you're willing to share it. You're willing to share the things that you've learned and you're willing to help the world with the things that you've learned. You're somebody who gathers a lot of information and you're willing to share that with the world for growth, like things like that. That's a really unusual combination, like to have the 3 threes. The 3 ones. That's not something that comes up very often. Normally people do not feel that way about their beliefs. And a lot of people feel like they want to hide away their belief system because they want to keep it as their own. You're not like that. You're kind of gathering it on purpose to give to others. That's kind of why you have it. And you're here for that. Like all of your numbers kind of say that. So You are someone who is a doer and not a sayer. You are always in motion. You are someone who is always making things happen. You're not somebody who's like, oh, we should do this or we should do that. You're not really like that. You're more like, I said we're going to do this and now we're going to do it. And you just kind of show by doing, you know. You might talk about it a little bit because you're going to contemplate how to do it. But other than that, you're not really somebody who just has a whole laundry list of things that you're like, maybe someday. You're not really like that. Although you do have a lot of things you're interested in. So there's a lot of things you want to try, but when you make a decision to do something, you're going to do it. That's what I mean, you know. So you are somebody who is very balanced. You're working on balance in this lifetime. So because you have those 3 ones, it equals a 3 in your goal column, basically. And what that says is that you're someone who is always trying to keep the 3 aspects of your life balanced: the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. Hang on one second. I need to move my dog because he's shaking my camera, and it's so annoying. Hang on. Oliver, come on, out.
Oh, Oliver.
Go. Thank you. Sorry, he was literally just laying on my camera on the stand behind my computer. I'm like, that's so annoying.
Our grandson's name, Oliver.
What?
That's our grandson's name, Oliver.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, my kids named him when they were.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you were mentioning about, you know, all my family having like repeating numbers or like cool numbers. So my daughter, her birthday is 9/11/99, so it's 9/11/99.
No. And
his son. So my grandson is 5522.
Wow. Yeah.
And my granddaughter, who was just born, you know, a few days ago, is 122223.
It's crazy. So that's the thing, is that your family is all working on like very high energy. Like you're working on very intense energy in a lot of different directions. And I would love, like I told you before, I would love to look at your whole family and like really look at the dynamics of what you're doing and why you're doing it. But it's like a whole bunch of kind of like powerhouse people, you know, like, and what's funny to me is that you're not all working on the same focus. You're working on different focuses. And that's what's a little bit odd, is that's not normally what I see. Normally I see people that are working on all the same things in all the same family, you know, like the same patterns, which you probably are. I just don't directly see that when I think of it in my head, you know, but maybe on a paper I would. But yeah, so it's like really intense energy because you guys are all using concentrated energy, you know? And that to me kind of like blows my mind because I don't see that a lot. You know, I don't see people who are so intense, and that's like a really good thing. It means that you are doing things that are just bigger than other people. You know, like you're very, like for you, you're very directional, and you're somebody who knows that direction. Like you don't ever get off your path. You're someone who is always in motion going forward. And you're not just going forward, though. You're going forward with a purpose. And then your purpose is your 7. So I'm going to tell you all about the 7s once I finish with the 1s. But that 7 is like gathering a whole bunch of information and wisdom and using that for that path, you know? So it's kind of like a really perfect combination. And that's why I said that, and Steph is here. Hi, Steph. But that's why I said Steph is so fascinating, because he's got the 3 7s as well, you know, but he's got a different focus. So like those 2 different focuses create kind of like a really different outcome, you know, and it's really cool how it does that. Anyway, so you'll see, like one of these days we'll do your whole family and you'll see like it's going to be a crazy dynamic. It's going to be really anyway, so you are someone who is like a train on tracks, okay? Like you do not get off your path. So even if you have felt in your life that you've been off track, because I know when I met you, you said you weren't really sure what you were supposed to do. You just knew that it was big and you felt it. So even though you felt that way, you've never been off track. what you've always been doing is you've always been gathering all the things that you need for what your big purpose is, you know? So everything in your life, whether you realize it or not, you're going to get to a point where it all makes sense, and all the things that have happened before are kind of all going to come together at once, and it's kind of going to blow your mind. Like, that's what happened to me. It's like I was doing all these things my whole life, and I didn't understand that all these things were kind of like puzzle pieces on my path, you know? As soon as I finally got to a place where I understood what I was supposed to do with it, it's like all of it made sense. All of it all fit together, you know? And you're going to have a similar thing happen, because you are right now stepping into something bigger. And I know I told you that before, but I feel that even stronger this time. Even though it's only been a little bit of time, it's kind of like you've actually cemented your path more since I first did this with you.
Okay.
Actually started asking for more help, and you've started getting more help, you know, and your guides are starting to work with you more. So like, I can feel that. Have you gotten your signs yet for the guides? Okay.
No,
So
I told you what I told you what I feel.
yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right. So go ahead, say it. You
It's
can say it.
well, it's because, you know, I keep getting the sense that my guys are just telling me, like, why are we wasting our time doing this? Like, you
Yes.
already have this connection before.
Yes. And you
And
do.
I know for a fact that I did, because I've actually heard them before. I've actually heard
Yeah.
someone's voice.
Yeah.
You know, they've kept me out from different things, you know, from danger and things like that. But it's
Yeah.
been very, very like a real voice. So,
Yeah.
you know, back
Yeah.
then I didn't understand, or basically I don't know if I had the right name, or, you know, I just knew
Yeah.
something going on. But you
Yeah.
know, now that you know, I'm learning a little more about, you know, spirituality and our spirit guides and things like that. It all makes sense, you know, of all the things that I've experienced in my life,
Yeah.
things that I've been kind of running away from, you know, and I think you already know that, you know,
Yes.
so.
Well, that's your big thing, is that you've been hiding. You've been hiding for a long time because you felt a very strong calling, you know, and I was the same way. So, like, this is the part that I would get to later, but I'm going to talk about now because it came up. So, like, you have a 21 in the mental. The 21 is the soulmate number. Okay. What that means is that you are someone who, this is my life purpose number. This is not your life purpose number, but this is one of your goal numbers, which is one of your life purpose numbers. Okay. It's just not your main one. Oh, I love your puppy. So cute.
Hell,
That's Lucy.
Nice.
she's 15.
Aw. Okay, so your 21 is the soulmate number. And what that means is that you are someone here who is gathering all of your soulmates, as many as you can. They're being drawn to you, actually, because you are someone who is supposed to help them. You're supposed to help raise their awareness. Oh, you blacked out again. I'm going to keep going anyway. But you are someone that is, you're gathering all of your soulmates, and you're trying to raise their awareness to who they really are, so that they can accomplish their goals. Hopefully I didn't actually lose you. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Did I lose you for a second?
Sorry about that.
Okay. I didn't know what happened, and I was like, I'm going to keep going. But then I was like, oh, maybe I really did lose you. Okay.
Yeah, me neither. Can you hear it, Tammy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I cannot hear. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I got a call and it kind of messed up my phone.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, that used to happen to me all the
And I cannot hear it.
time. Okay. Check if there's a button somewhere.
There you go.
Oh, okay, good.
Just gotta delay them.
Check if there's a button somewhere that says allow sound or something. That used to happen to me all the time when I was
honey,
doing
I was
my phone.
Oh,
You're funny.
okay.
Are you good
This is
now?
not coming back up.
No, it's not coming back up. Okay.
He probably just using my phone.
But it's got a really long delay. Let me see. Not sure why the mic's not working. Okay, I'm gonna have to jump off and on real quick. Let's see.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, guys. Well, at least I could check the comments. That's good. So, let's see. I know I keep seeing you guys commenting. I just haven't been like answering them. So, hi, Diana. Hi, Christina. Hi, Margarita. I'm glad you're here. If anyone hasn't given StreamYard permission, do that so that we can see you and
There you go.
your comments.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? I can hear you and see you.
All right.
That's
Sorry
good.
about that. I got a call and it really messed up my phone. It's like I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just looking at the comments, so I'm going to just kind of answer them if there's any questions in there. So, let's see. Okay. I don't really see any questions, but hi, everybody. I'm glad that you guys are here. Okay. So anyway, so I was telling you about the 21. Okay.
Yeah.
So the 21 is somebody who it's the soulmate number, and it's somebody who is collecting all of their soulmates, kind of like you're somebody who actually your soulmates are attracted to you, like they're finding you more than you're finding them, basically. But they're all coming to you because you are someone that is here to help raise their awareness back to who they are. Like you're here to raise the vibration of, you're like helping raise the vibration of the planet, but you're doing that by helping other soulmates from your tribe remember who they are and bring them back to the awareness of what their goals are, so that they can ascend faster. So like a lot of us are ascending soon, like I said earlier. And there's a lot of people actually here that are here to help with that. Okay. Like you can call them light bearers, or you can call them guides on earth, like spirit guides on earth or whatever. But anyone who has a 21 in their numbers, they're going to be like directly doing that, so that's what I do. That's my life purpose number. That's one of your like sub purposes. So that's why I say that you're somebody that's going to do something bigger, because you're going to hit more people, like you're going to reach more people. And the reason why is because you are here to kind of like shake them out of this like dream that they feel like they're in, like life kind of feels like you're supposed to just fit in with society, and you're not really supposed to become anything, and you're not supposed to like really do anything with your life or believe in any of this stuff. But the truth is that we are supposed to do that. And the quicker that we can wake up to who we really are and start using our gifts and helping, we can then, ascend faster, and we can help each other more, and we can help the planet more. And, the planet's going through such a transition right now.
Mm-hmm.
And more of us need to become awake to help with that, so that's what you're here for. And so when I was first doing your numbers, I was seeing visions, and the visions I was seeing were you up on a stage. I was seeing similar visions when I was doing steps right before yours, only with him, I was seeing a different kind of vision. I was seeing visions of him with an audience, but I was seeing him in a different way than I was seeing you. And so I was feeling into that when I was sitting with you, because it was right after it. And I was asking, what am I seeing? And so I was seeing you write books, and I was seeing, I've seen your name on like I have this little, it's kind of weird. I have like a movie screen in my head. That's what it looks like to me. And my guides show me visions on there. Okay. Like they'll show me words, or they'll show me pictures. Well, I see your name, and I see like a picture of you, and then like your name on the back of a book or something. And it's like, I see you as an author. And then I also see you on stages talking about it. And I even saw Star on the side of the stage. So like I was having like all those visions when I was doing this with you before. And I was like, what does that mean? And that's why I was like, are you a writer? Have you thought about being a writer? Because I think you're going to write books. So I don't know. But
I do like to ride.
You're a good writer too.
Not, I'm not particularly a writer, I would say. I mean, I do pretty good, I think. So,
yeah,
and it's kind of funny you say that, because I've been kind of thinking about it ever since you said that, and I was like, well, okay, what am I supposed to write about? Like, what is this so important? And yesterday, Christmas Day, my son came over and we were spending some time kind of just talking and things, and he said to me, Dad, I would really love for you to do something for me. And I was like, well, what's that? He's like, I would like you to write down like a journal, like just write down what you've experienced during the day. Like, what are you thinking? I don't, he wants to get to know me in a deeper level, I guess, my son.
Wow.
And I've been kind of thinking about it ever since he told me. I've been thinking about all the different things. And what I did is I started thinking back about, my father, some of the lessons that he taught me and stuff like that. So, and I don't know, it's funny that you mentioned that I've been kind of gathering a lot of information, because all these different things are coming up, since yesterday, since my son told me about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I know the secret to life or anything like that, but there's definitely a lot of things that have made my life easier, or a lot of things, because of my father, and other things I've been able to kind of gather just through life.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the beginning of a book, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the fact that your son admires you so much that he wants to see inside your head like that, that's a big deal, right? In that alone, I mean, just that our kids even like us is a big deal when they grow up, but that he actually wants to know what it is like inside of your head.
Yeah.
That means that you fascinate him, and that means that you operate in a way that he wants to operate too, and you're saying you felt that way about your dad. Okay. So when you think about that, that's like you have tons of life advice that you don't even realize that you have, and the thing is, when it comes to writing a book, it's not that you're trying. So this is what I said, I think, in my first training for the membership. I said, I don't have a key that I can just give you to unlock your life. Like, I don't have something that you can just turn and now you have the answers to everything. But I have 100 little answers. Like, I have 100 things that I can teach you at least that you can do in one little area of your life that can make your life a little bit better. And if you do a whole bunch of these things, you're going to have a better life within no time, Mm-hmm. And so that's what I teach. And that's basically what your son is asking. Your son's asking, just tell me these little things that you've learned. Tell me, how do you make your relationship work? How do you make the family work? How have you raised us? What are your philosophies on things? Just a whole bunch of little lessons in a book would be a whole book that someone would want to read, Right. And the thing is, you're somebody who I just keep thinking that you're going to become a motivational speaker. And I think the reason why is because you're not so sure you have a whole lot to give. So you're completely vulnerable about it. You're completely like, this is me. I don't have all the answers, but I will give you what I have. Mm-hmm. That is the best way to give yourself to the world, because you're giving what you know. You're not just making it up. You're not like, right. Oh, I learned this thing somewhere and now I've perfected it and now I can teach you step by step how it works. No, I'm going to teach you what I know. And that's going to be really valuable to so many people, and all the best books that you read are always people who are just telling you what they do that works for them, like those books always feel real, so.
Okay.
So Steph is saying, you will be teaching people how to live better lives. The world is going to change soon and we'll need leaders to show them the new way. That's you. I think he's totally right.
Oh, thanks, Steph.
And he also said, you'll know soon what you need to write about. It will be soon. Your son is guiding you. I think that's amazing. So Steph has like premonitions and things like Steph.
Wow. Okay.
Steph is really, really gifted. Like, he's really using his gifts. He's the one that drew that triangle that I showed you. So Steph, I showed Jose that triangle that you drew, because I redrew it and put it on my desk. if I can find it, I'll show you guys. It's on my desk, but I have a whole bunch of things on my desk right now.
Well, and remember, I told you about my triangle story too.
That's what I was gonna say. So tell that story.
So
That's why I showed it to you.
Yeah, a few weeks back we went to one of those spirituals expos. You know, we were just kind of, you know, we're new at this, so we just kind of went to you know, look around and browse and just kind of learn a little bit more. And I've always been drawn to sounds. You know, I used to actually play music when I was younger, so the music to me is very important. Sounds, you know, sound waves and, you know, frequencies and all that. So I had a sound healing, one of those Tibetan bowl sound healings. I had one of those sessions, and as soon as the session started, I started having kind of like visions. You know, I had my eyes closed and everything, but I started seeing things. And one of the first things that I saw was a triangle with a circle in the middle. So, and I think I kind of talked to the group about it in the past.
Yeah, in the membership group you talked about,
right,
like on the one training. Yeah.
And since then I've been doing a little bit more research to see exactly what that meant, and I actually found exactly what that triangle means.
Oh, good. What does it mean?
It's actually, they call it the Salomon Triangle.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's actually the second most important symbol, I guess, when you are conjuring spirits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when you're conjuring spirits or demons, apparently.
Well, hopefully you're not conjuring demons.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. And they use that symbol to bind or to keep the spirit or whatever is conjured, to keep it in one spot so it doesn't leave.
Wow.
Apparently. Wow. There's another symbol that's more important, but this is the second most important symbol, apparently, when you're doing this type of magic or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was really weird that I saw that. I've never done anything like that myself.
Yeah.
When I mentioned it to the person who did the sound healing, she mentioned that perhaps that was from a previous life, because she had some visions of myself being some type of leader, as far as, you know, doing some type of leading not a cult, but leading a group of people in prayer and things like that, you know, over a fire, she said.
Yeah.
So this was back in the 1600s when she saw this, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I could see that, because you don't just start out in a life as doing something big if you haven't like worked up to that and done it before, you know, like you're bringing stuff. So the sevens are all about past life knowledge, you know, and they're all about bringing past life knowledge into this life to use it. So the energy that you're working with is all past life energy and also divine energy, like divine knowledge. So like you're pulling from the divine all the time, but you're working a lot in the past. So yeah, this is why Steph keeps coming up, because it's like he's doing a lot of this work as well, only he's much more aware of it than you. So like you're starting to become aware of it. He's been aware of it for a while. So like he kind of knows almost what he's been doing.
Oh, okay.
I can invite him on here. Like we should just be talking with both of you, honestly. But this is the thing that I'm just going to ask him. So Steph, if you want to come on, I'll invite you on, and
that would be really cool.
Yeah, because he's fascinating too. Like you guys both, I mean, you know, I think it was probably on purpose that you ended up winning this spot to do this live with me, because I think so many people have heard me talk about you that the group collective made it happen, you know, because like it was weird, you know, like, you know, there were a lot of choices, you know, and it ended up landing on you on the app. Anyway, this is the thing that Steph drew. The
triangle.
And he told me that I was looking at the he said I was looking at the numbers wrong, like, or he didn't, I don't know if he said wrong, but he said I wasn't looking at them the way that they actually work. And then he drew that and sent it to me. So,
okay.
Steph, let me know if you're willing to come on and I will send you a link. Oh, you can't. So he said he can't. He's leaving the
Ah,
sentence. Okay. Well, anyway, one of these days I'm going to have a talk with Steph. Maybe I'll have a talk with Steph and you at the same time, just a talk, like a hangout.
yeah.
Because I would love to do that because you guys are working in the same energy. He's got a different focus than you do. And they're both really incredible. And what was so crazy, like this is what's crazy to me, okay? Like what feels weird to me is that when I was sitting with him, the whole time I was sitting with him, I kept thinking, I wonder what this would be like with ones. Like I swear I was thinking that. And then I literally got off the call with him and got on the call with you, and you have the ones. And I was like, what the heck? You know, it was like my guides were trying to answer me directly. It was so cool. But yeah, anyway, you guys are both really fascinating to me because you're working in energy that is really different, just different than most people. Okay, so Steph says, I had a vision to share the triangle with you. I was told you could integrate it into your practice. Yeah, so Steph, I drew that triangle and I put it on my desk, and I do feel something when I look at it, but I don't know what. Like I don't know what it's doing, but I like it. I think it's really cool. So I just have it there. I haven't really asked my guides though. I should actually ask them because then they'll tell me what it's for. But anyway, and also Steph said you're using the triangle and that you have two. Or sorry, he was saying I'm using the triangle. And then he was saying that you have two triangles because you have the ones and the sevens. So
Oh,
yeah, so I don't know what that means, but I think it's really cool. Anyway, we'll invite him and we'll do a whole talk, just us, just all of us. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to your numbers because
yeah.
I want to do your numbers. That's why we're here, right? But okay, so when you are in the good energy of the one or the crown chakra, you're going to feel very well connected to source energy. You're going to feel like you are channeling white light energy through you, and you're going to feel like you are surrounded, and you're going to feel like you're filled with that white light energy, and you're going to feel like you are surrounded by that white light energy. Like you're very well protected, you're very well guided, you're very on track. You're going to feel very on track. You may not know where that's leading you, but you will feel like you are being led, like you are being maybe like handheld, not necessarily led, but you're going to feel like someone's with you and helping you, and not just one someone, but probably lots of someone's. Anyway, and when you are off track, like when you are out of alignment with your crown chakra, you are going to feel like you are not connected, like you don't understand why you're here or what you're doing. You'll kind of like lose sight of your purpose. You'll lose sight of your direction. You'll feel like you're just alone. And what were you thinking? Like a lot of times this leads to feelings like, maybe I'm just wrong about everything, and you're just going to have both of that energy throughout your life, just at different times, but you're mostly going to feel the well connected, but anytime you don't feel connected, it's your crown chakra that you'll feel that from. You want to go and reconnect, and how you reconnect to source energy is always in nature, so you always just want to go into nature and just get your energy back. Like I always go to the ocean to talk to God. That's just me. Or I have a waterfall down the street from where I live, and I used to go there every day sometimes. Like I just whenever I'm not okay, I'm at the waterfall a lot. But that's where I feel God. That's where I feel connected. And but you can connect just in your backyard. You can just take off your shoes and just stand on the ground, and you will feel connected again. And you're someone who doesn't really lose your connection very often. The only time that you will is if your world shakes, like if something really tragic happens, or something that you really don't understand happens, that's going to make you question God or the higher power. But other than that, you're going to stay pretty well connected most of your life, because you're very well guided and you're very well connected, and you're very much like, you're very intentional with the way you do things, so you're working with that energy on purpose very intentionally. Anyway, okay, so one of your big goals so you have a 3 in the spiritual, and what the goal is for that number is that you are here to maintain that balance in your life. So you're trying to keep a balance all the time. You're trying to keep everything in your life balanced, so you're always working in all the directions to make sure everything is going the same all the time, and you don't feel okay when things aren't. So you are always going, if things go out of balance a little bit, you're going to always work to fix that. You're going to be somebody who provides certainty for others, and you're going to provide the ground that people stand on, so like you're going to be the ground for the family. That's kind of who you are, and people can rely on you because you're so stable yourself. Like you're someone who is always stable. So, okay. And then you have the 7s. The 7 is the throat chakra. The throat chakra is all about saying the right things to the right people at the right times so that they can hear you. When you feel like you're out of balance with the throat chakra, you're going to feel like you're speaking a different language. Like people aren't going to be understanding you, and you're going to feel like your voice is not clear. Like that's kind of how that works. Your 7 is your connection to your guides. You are a natural channel with your guides, just like I am. Okay. And because you have so much of this energy, you're going to be a very natural channel. You're going to be like a wide open channel, So you're going to be someone who's actually an open channel with your crown and with your 7, which I always say the guides are right here, and the higher power is here. So like there's 2 channels right there, like I don't know why, but that's what it feels like to me, So Steph is saying, you have mastered the 1 and the 7 energy. I'm getting that the triangle or triple numbers means mastery of the energy of that number. That makes sense to me, actually, because I do believe that. I believe that you're not just, so that's the thing with you is like, I was having trouble understanding if you were working on these numbers, or if you came here because you've mastered these numbers and you're embodying them now to use them to help. Like you're just a helper on earth. That was one of the things I was wondering with you. Steph has to go. So, all right, Steph, see you later. I'm glad that you were here.
Thank you, Steph.
We're going to plan something. Anyway, yeah, I was wondering that, like, I don't know if you remember, but when I was doing your numbers the first time, I was wondering if you were an avatar, because
right.
You feel like you could be, but you don't have it direct like it normally shows up, so it's a little bit indirect, but I still feel like you're probably an avatar, and an avatar is someone who is on a bonus life. So like you are here literally just to help the planet, like that's what you're here for. Also, I never said hi to Javelin. Hi, Javelin. I'm so glad that you're here. Sorry, Javelin's one of my favorite people. She actually is on my staff, and she's here like actually helping. But I didn't ask her to help, but I'm glad that you're helping. Thank you. I love you. Anyway, she's just amazing. So I wanted to say hi to her, but then I never did. I never remembered. Anyway, so you are someone, that's what it feels like to me. You are someone who is here just to help out, like someone who came just for this time, like to help people raise their awareness, to become who they really are again, and to remember their power, because it's such an important time. Like we're going through such a shift on the planet, and there's people that have specifically just come here right now, to do this. And you're one of those people, and it's like very obvious to me that you're one of those people, your numbers kind of just scream, so bye, Diana. Have a good night. Sorry, we're running over, but whatever. We're not going to go 3 hours, but we are going to go over a little. Anyway. But yeah, you're very clearly here to raise the vibration of the planet. I mean, there's nothing in your numbers that say that you're here for you. You're here for other people, you're just not, I mean, you are here for you, of course, because you get a lot of benefits for the work that you do. It's just that it's just that that's not your prime focus. Your prime focus is others, you know, and it's very obvious that it is to me, you know. And there's certain people I can look at their chart and I go, oh, they're thinking about themselves. And that's fine because they're working on their own issues, you know. But when I look at yours, it's like, I know that you came here for the purpose of others. I know that that's your sole focus. And it's like, yeah, you care about yourself and you should. Absolutely, you should. But your growth is like your second thought, you know. So you're still growing, but it's like that's not really your focus, you know. Anyway, so the 7, like I said, is the throat chakra. The 7 is the mental Buddha. It means that you're very intelligent. You're somebody who came here with a lot of wisdom. You came here with past life knowledge. And so you actually pull from past lives anytime you need it in this life. So you pull wisdom as you need it. And you're somebody who's probably really good at everything that you try because you just naturally pull the information as you need it, you know. You're also somebody who is the natural consoler. The natural consoler is somebody that has a beam of light, basically, that shoots up from the top of your head that people can see on a soul level. They don't know that they can see it, but they see it on some level that they're not aware of, but they can see it even in a crowd. So like, you're going to be somebody that people come to your whole life and they tell you their whole life story right when they meet you. And it almost looks like they're in a trance when they do that. It looks like they're under hypnosis or something, because they'll tell you all this stuff and then they'll kind of shake their head a little bit and they'll go, oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I've never told anybody this before. I don't know why I trust you. You know, like people will say that to you your whole life. And the reason why is because what happens is that they need help, okay? And then their guides kind of look for somebody on earth that's going to be a helper. And so you have signed up to be the natural consoler. And so you have signed up as a spirit guide on earth, basically. Like, my guides finally told me that that's what I should say about that, is that someone with a 7, even just 1 7, is practically like a spirit guide on earth. That's really what they can be called, because I would call them light bearers. I always called them light bearers, or I always called them like, you know, like the natural consoler or whatever. But the real term that people understand is a spirit guide on earth. And that's what you are. So you're somebody who directly works with the guides. And basically, like, I always make up little scenarios of what goes on the other side, you know? And so it's like someone needs help and their guides say, hey, we need a helper, you know? And then they find your spirit guides, because your spirit guides are like, hey, we're helpers, you know? And then they kind of like team up and then they make the meeting happen. So you meet this stranger, basically. And then when you meet that person, I think they put them under some kind of trance a little bit, you know, so that they just tell you things that they wouldn't normally tell you. And then when they've opened up to that point, they're in a state of vulnerability. And when they get to that state of vulnerability, it's like their walls are already down. So they will accept knowledge to come. And that's when their guides and your guides actually channel knowledge right through you to tell them. And so you're going to tell people the right things at the right times when they're ready to hear them, and it's going to actually help them. And you're somebody who does that all of your life, just very naturally. A lot of times people with 7s don't know that they even do this, but they find themselves always telling people the right things, and they don't know why they do that. They don't understand how they have that knowledge. They don't understand how it's actually working. They just know that they do it, you know? And the reason why is because they're the natural consoler, and this is the job that they signed up for. Like, this is a job that you signed up for. So having the 7, so I just started making these little graphics that say jobs for humanity, and they have little spacemen on them. Those ones are all about this, like this. So the 7 is the one that you can see the clearest, where you sign up for the job and you get the benefits. Okay. So the jobs for humanity are one graphic. And then I have gifts from the universe that I didn't finish yet, so I haven't started posting those. But all the jobs for each number, you'll do the job and then you'll also get benefits. So like I call those gifts from the universe, and they're just not out yet, but they will be soon. Basically, when you do this job, you get all these gifts. The gifts that come with the 7 are that because you're a natural channel, you're somebody who that channel is already open all the time. You are somebody who gets to use that channel as well. It's not just for other people, like it's for you as well. So you can channel information anytime that you want information. So like I say all the time, I'll ask my guides, because I have an open channel. I can just ask questions and get answers, you know, and the more you use that skill, the more it works for you. And the reason why you're feeling like, you know, the membership is like, you know, the basic course is because I am teaching it at a very basic level, and you are more advanced than that. Like, because you have already been practicing these skills your whole life. That's why your guides are telling you, you don't have to do this. Like, this is not really something, it really is a basic level. It's for somebody who has never had spirit guide communication yet, you know? So like what I'm teaching you guys is that I'm just teaching you how to make contact and how to understand that that contact is really happening. You know, like I'm just trying to make sure that people understand what the messages are that they're receiving. And by asking for messages and getting them, it's going to prove that to them. But if you're someone who's already gotten messages, you don't really need that kind of lesson. You know, probably for you, what would help you most right now, at least this month in the membership, is the repeating numbers and how to decipher them, you know? So like that part is probably helping you. But like the spirit guide communication, you already understand that. You know, you do still need to develop that skill more so that you can work with it better, but you don't really need the basic level of how do we establish contact, you know? Right. So and just so you know, like every month the trainings will change, but like I will always be teaching at basic levels. Like I'm always going to be teaching the very basics of what I do, you know, because I just want people to start developing themselves, like develop their abilities and things. So like next month, it's not really a basic thing or an advanced thing. It's just a method I do. It's just a practice I do. So that one's not going to be the same type of thing. But the reason why you're having your guides be like, you don't need this. It makes total sense to me. Like when you finally told me that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. I totally should have talked about, but I didn't even think about that when we were doing the training. I didn't even think about saying, oh yeah, this probably won't apply to you if you already know how to do this, you know, like, but you may not know that you know how to do it. And so that was good in itself, to just start having your guides give you messages like that, because that is also your guides communicating with you. So, right. So that's a good thing. Anyway, okay. So the benefits that come with the 7s are, so you are someone that not just brings past life knowledge to use in this one, you are also someone who is directly connected to the energy of inspiration. So whenever I see somebody who has 7s, I always say that the air just like kind of glitters around you, because it's like magic is always around you all the time, because you have all the ideas around you. So you're somebody who is tapped into the energy field of flow. The energy field of flow, I always say, is right here, but I don't really know where it is. I just say it's right here because we pull from it. So like I always imagine that it's right here for us to pull from, but I don't really know where it is. I just know that it vibrates a little bit higher than we do. So the energy field of flow is just this energy field kind of above us on an energetic level. And this is where the divine puts all the new ideas that are coming into humanity right now. So all of the new inventions, all the new stories, all the new ideas, all the new things are all being put in this energy field. And they're doing that all the time. And they don't care who pulls from it, but they want all these ideas to come into humanity right now. And that's why you will see like 3 people in 3 different places write the same story. Or you'll see 3 people in 3 different places invent the same thing, where it's never been invented before, but they're like, oh, you stole my idea. Nobody stole anybody's idea. it's just three people pulled from the same energy field, you know, because it just gets placed in that energy field and anyone can access that. But people with sevens are naturally tapped in. So like, this is why if you're someone with a seven, you're going to have, well, I don't know if you do, but I have insomnia. A lot of people with sevens have insomnia. When I've met people with multiple sevens, some of them tell me they don't have that. So that's a good thing if you don't have that. But
I don't. I mean,
okay.
no problem sleeping at all ever.
See, that's good. That's another indication that you've mastered this energy. So I have terrible insomnia and I've had it my whole life. And it's because being tapped into that energy kind of like disrupts my own patterns and it constantly makes my brain go. So someone with a seven is a very analytical thinker. You still analyze things. You analyze things like to death almost. Like people with sevens always analyze everything. They analyze all the different angles of things. And that's because they operate on a higher and deeper level than most people. So like, I know that sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. So like, you operate on a higher level because you're directly working with spirit guides. So they're like, that's the higher level. You operate on a deeper level because time isn't actually real. Time doesn't go in a straight line. Time is actually in layers. And you are somebody that is able to work in these layers. So my example, the reason I learned this, the reason why my guides finally helped me understand this is because I was trying to explain how when I'm doing Facebook Lives and I'm doing mini readings, I don't act like other readers. Like I'll be like, okay, I'll draw someone's chart and then I'll go, okay, I'm going to feel into this. Well, then I'll go answer comments, you know, or whatever. And it doesn't look like I'm feeling into anything because a lot of people that are like psychics or whatever will kind of go like this and they'll stop and they'll feel into the energy. Well, I do that. You just can't see me doing that because I'm working on layers. So like I say, I'm going to feel into the energy. That's like me hitting a switch and saying, okay, feel into the energy. And so part of me is feeling into that energy while I'm answering comments. Part of me is also asking your numbers questions. Part of me is also asking the guides questions and receiving answers from them. So I'm working on many layers all at the same time. And what I'm doing is I'm doing it all at the same time and you can't tell, but I'm actually working in different places, pulling all at the same time. The only time I actually stop and pause is when those things start overlapping at all. Like if the guides are giving me a whole bunch of answers, I need to stop so that it doesn't overlap and overwhelm me. You know, I need to know where the things are coming from. Like if it's your numbers talking, I want to know that. If it's the guides talking, I want to know that. You know, I don't want to just like say everything and not know where it's coming from. So that's the only time I stop is when there's too much information coming through. But so you're someone who operates this way as well. You operate on a higher level because you're working with the guides, and then you operate on a deeper level because you are analyzing the situation. You are dealing with the present moment of the situation, whatever you have to do in the present, and then you are also, you know, analyzing the different parts, you know, and receiving information and giving information. You're doing all of that at the same time. And if someone would really look at it like it was a flat surface, you're doing a lot of things that would take a lot of time and you're doing them all at once because you're stacking them, you know? So this is why the natural consoler is somebody who helps a lot of people. Like you're someone who is always like a helper for others, but then when you need help, nobody's there. The reason for that is because you are someone that is constantly like operating in a different way than other people. So like other people could have a problem and that's the same problem as you, but their problem's very different because their problem is very easily solved. It's like their car broke down and they just need to fix it. And so you just fix it and it's done. The problem's over. with you, if your car broke down, it's a different kind of problem. It's like your problem, you're going to look at all the different people it affects and all the different situations around it. And you're going to make the solution out of all the different things that it affects. So it's like you're always looking at things in a complex way. And when you have a problem, people can't just come and help you. It's like you can easily help them, but a lot of people don't think like you or act like you. They don't operate the way that you do, so they can't actually reach you to help you. And that's not their fault. It's not that they don't want to. It's that they actually can't. Like they actually don't have that capability. And so that's the one thing that I worry about with sevens. The very first thing that I always feel into whenever I'm doing someone's numbers and they have sevens, especially multiple sevens, I always feel into how they feel about people, like how they feel about life, because a seven can end up getting a superiority complex because they're very intelligent. They can start thinking that the world is stupid, and they can start thinking that they're better than everybody. And it's not really hard to go there because it's because you really do act on a different level than other people. And it's very clear to you that other people don't reach you. You're also going to feel very misunderstood because of that. Like your whole life, people are never really going to understand you. And it's like I always had the problem of everyone feels like they're my best friend, and I never felt like I had a best friend. Like I've had very few people that have gotten through any of my layers at all. And they don't really know that, but I always know that. It's like even the most I've ever let anybody in, they've only touched the surface of how I operate and who I really am, So it's like very few people get through any of that. And it's because you don't even access who you are. It's like you operate on such a deep level that it's like you don't ever even touch all of your layers. Your life is more complicated. Like your thinking is more layered. Everything that you do is layered, like people think that time is kind of like they think it's an arrow ahead of them and it's a straight path, but time doesn't work that way. It works in layers. Same as the dimensions work in layers. They don't work in a flat surface, So things kind of work in different places on top of each other. It's kind of a weird thing. It's hard for me to explain because it's like I concept it, but I don't really know how to explain it that well. But anyway, so you are someone who, like people are always going to be drawn to you because you are a helper on the planet. You are somebody who is here to help, and you're doing it on a bigger level than most people. You're doing it anyway with the sevens, but you're also doing it with this 21, like this 21 is making you gather people, and so the 7 makes you very charismatic. It makes you somebody who people are attracted to because they want to learn from you, or they want to understand you, or they want to be in your world somehow. That's what the 7 does. It's a very magnetic energy. I always said Marilyn Monroe must have had a 7 because she had that. There's like a story about her where she was walking through New York City or something, and she was walking with someone, and she said, "Do you want me to turn it on?" And like when they were walking, nobody was noticing her, and then she said, "Do you want me to turn it on?" And the person said yes, and then she turned on Marilyn, and she didn't really do anything. She just changed her energy. And then people all noticed her, So just like a week ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, just like, I don't know why I do this. This is who I am. I woke up in the middle of the night from a sound sleep, and I went, oh my goodness, I have to look at Marilyn's numbers. Because I always tell people this, and I never looked at her numbers. And there's not a 7 in her numbers that I can see. So I was like, oh man, I need to draw them out. So I haven't drawn them out yet. But I totally got up in the middle of the night just to look up her numbers because I wanted to know if she really had this, or if I'm just saying this. Because otherwise I have to decide where that actually comes from. Because a lot of times I will recognize a gift in somebody, but then I have to locate where it actually comes from. Another example of this is there's this ability that I've always had my whole life that I always thought was a superpower. It is a superpower for sure. But I've always had it since I was young. And it was like, I could get anybody to look at me. I could get anyone to notice me no matter where I am. Even if I'm in a huge arena and there's like if I'm at a concert and I'm in a huge arena, I could be in the very back row of the furthest place from the stage, and I could get the singer to look at me, like directly look in my eyes, or I could get the drummer to look at me, or the guitarist, or anybody. I get anybody to notice me. And I always was like, I don't know what this is. And I used to never tell anybody about it because I used it like a superpower. Like when I was at parties, I would be like, oh, I want to know that person, or I want to know that person. And I would get them to notice me, and then we would become friends or something. And I've always done that. Well, then I finally got serious about knowing what number is that coming from. Well, it's coming from the 7. And I know that because I started asking people, have you ever had this happen? And a lot of people with 7s told me, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, okay, it must be from the 7, because that was the only common thing. And then I had to ask my guides, okay, what makes that happen? So like, what makes that happen is that you are a master manipulator of energy. So like, you are someone that takes the edges of the energy and can bend it. Like, you can make things happen because you are a manipulator of energy. I mean, you're a master manipulator, period. You do have to be careful with how you use that energy, because that could be bad, but it could be really good too. It's like you're able to kind of shift the room. Like, you're able to shift your reality and shift your experience at will. Like, everyone can do that, okay? But people with 7 always do that. Like, people with 7s have the ability to touch the edges of their existence and bend them, and it's like it's the coolest thing, just the coolest thing. Anyway, let me read some comments, because I keep seeing comments and I'm not answering them. So Jablin, he sounds a lot like an avatar. I think he sounds like an avatar too. Like, you feel like an avatar to me. So I'll explain a little more what an avatar is so that you understand. And Jablin says, my son has a 7. He's still a teenager, but he says a whole lot that everything is easy and that people are just dumb. Yeah. when you're young, like when you're younger, it's a lot harder to manage this energy, actually.
I kind of had that when I was growing up. I didn't think people were dumb, but I just felt that why is it so hard to understand some things? So I always thought that this is so simple kind of thing. Why people don't get it?
Yeah. And you're going to have that feeling your whole life with a lot of things. But especially when you're young, it's really hard to manage this energy because you're playing with it so much as you grow up, like you're playing with your world a lot. So like when I was a teenager, I did a lot of the things that I'm teaching now are things that I practiced when I was a teenager, but I practiced it by myself and I didn't tell anybody back then, and I would just play with energy because I love manipulating energy, and I love telepathy. Like, I'm really good at telepathy, and I love to send messages and see what happens, like I love that kind of stuff. But that's all coming from the 7. Like, a lot of that energy comes from the 7. It comes from other places, but the 7 is the master manipulator of energy, and actually this is exactly what I'm teaching next month. Like in January, that's what we're doing, is a whole month on energy manipulation. And I'm going to actually teach you how to use this energy and how to manipulate the world around you in a good way, not in a bad way. I'm a little hesitant to teach this because people could use it for bad, but the truth is, I'm only going to teach you how to use it for good. I teach people how to get raises like this, and it works. Like, I had a girl like a month ago get a raise because of this, and we only practiced it a few times, and literally a few days later she got a raise, and I was like, awesome, but this energy is amazing to play with. Anyway. So hi Peggy, I'm glad that you're here. Oh, you want to learn how to do that? I don't know if you're in the membership, but I'm teaching it next month. So I will teach you if you want to learn it. Donna, you thought you were the only one that did this. Yeah. So you must have a 7, because it comes very natural to 7s. Anyone can learn how to do it. but sevens naturally do it. So like it's just a really cool energy. Anyway, so you are also like I said before, you're very charismatic, and you're someone who attracts people like a magnet. So like people your whole life are going to be drawn to you, and you may not actually understand that. Like that may actually take you a while to understand, because you may not know what it is. Like you're like, I know that people are like this, but I don't know why they're like this toward me. You know, like I don't know what I'm doing to make that happen. And that's because you're the natural consoler. And it's because you're somebody who attracts people who need help a lot of times. But you're also someone who fascinates people because you operate on multi levels, and people don't always understand what that is, you know, like how you're doing that. You know, like they can see that you're doing it a little bit, but they can't really understand how you're doing it. And so people will try to be in your world to understand how you operate, kind of like your son. You know, like your son's fascinated with how you are. That's because he can tell that you operate differently than most people, probably, you know. So, and he's probably fascinated by it. So
Yeah, my son was very psychic growing up. When he was a little boy, he was very, very connected to a lot of things. He used to see auras and used to see spirits, and he used to see a lot of different weird stuff. And
energy imprints.
Yeah, energy imprints. He used to see a lot of different things. I think he's hasn't really worked on that anymore. And kind of, kind of, I don't want to say lost it, but I think he's, I don't know. I think I need to talk to him so he can kind of work on that again, because I think it's kind of affecting his life in other ways now. So
yeah, what are his numbers? Just
his are 6, 16,
2003.
yeah, 03.
Okay, I knew he was gonna have a 3. Okay, yeah, he is very spiritual. Like he's definitely very spiritual, but he's like kind of stubborn, and
Yes.
he's probably trying to push it out. You know, like trying to push out those abilities. But yeah, once he opens up to that, he's gonna be phenomenal. You know, like he'll blow your mind in the stuff that he'll be able to do. You know. If I could just combine people, I would love to just combine energies and like get people to like work together with their energies and focus them. That would be cool. He like your energy with his energy could be like a force, you know, because you both are working in different types of energy. And if you put that together, it could be like unstoppable, you know? So that's kind of how I felt with you and Star, actually. Like you two are a really good team. And when you combine your energy, it's like she's the support for your mission, you know, and then you're actually the support for her mission as well. Like you're the healer for her, you know. So it's really good. Like you guys are really great together. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. So you also have a 24. The 24 is your main life purpose number. And what that says is that you are here to seek a guide and not to let your emotions rule you. Okay, so what that means, when it says seek a guide, okay, I like to address this because I'm not saying go find someone like me to teach you, although that's great. When it says seek a guide, it's really telling you to seek your own guide, to seek your own guides, like to seek your higher power, to seek your spirit guides. It's not really saying go seek a human mentor, even though yes, you can do that, and that is helpful to bring up your gifts and bring them about. That's really not what this number means. You know, I could totally spin it to make it mean that way, but it really isn't about that, honestly. And I would be doing a disservice by telling you that. You know, like the truth is no human has any more ability than you. And this number is telling you to seek your own abilities, like to seek your own guides and to start working with them. And when you start working with your own higher power, your own spirit guides, you are going to create yourself as a force. You are going to become the force that you intend to be. And then your life is all going to go into motion, you know, but you do have to be careful of your emotions ruling you. Okay. So you are someone that has really high emotions, and you are someone who, yes, you are really good at masking your emotions and controlling them. Like you have a lot of emotional control, but you are someone who actually has too much going on inside sometimes, you know? And so you have to be careful of that, because that can actually mess with all of this, you know? So that's what that number means. Like, that's what that number is all about. So one thing I didn't tell you is that the sevens, like the throat chakra, I told you when you're out of balance with it, you're going to feel like you're speaking another language to people.
Right.
That's really important for you to understand, is that whenever you get to a point where you're not getting through to people, you need to balance that energy. Like, that energy is balanced by being in touch with who you are and what you need, you know, like making sure to take care of yourself and making sure to honor yourself. Like, there's a few things that mess with this kind of energy. And some of it is the superiority thing, like when you start thinking that the world is stupid, which you will think that at different times in your life. It's totally fine to think that. It's just when you think that too much, that will mess with this energy, you know? And like, you'll be trying to teach somebody and they'll start feeling like you don't respect them or you don't honor them or whatever. That's when that energy is wrong. You know, like there's times when I don't respect somebody and I'll be giving them a reading and I have a really hard time where my guides will literally tell me, you need to focus better, you know, like you need to start out from zero again, because just I don't respect people who are out of integrity. You know, like I have a real problem with integrity. Like, so if people say something and then they don't do it, or they lie to me, I can always sense people lying. And so I don't always know why they're lying or what they're lying about, but I can always feel their energy. And when I lose respect, I lose it completely. I can't really get it back. And so my guides will actually tell me to pause and kind of come back. I shouldn't even say this publicly, but I'm going to. So like, there's times when I will reschedule a whole reading if that happens, you know, like, because I know that I need to center myself better so I can remember that this person matters a lot, you know. It's just a thing. Like, once in a while I go through that. It's very rare, but once in a while I go through that where I kind of lose who I am and I kind of start judging people too much. The 7 is a very judgmental number. There are people with 7s that are really mean people. Like, they can treat people really harshly because they're very judgmental and they're very critical. Like, it's a very critical number. There's a lot of times when I will see a combination with a 7 where the person is just out and out mean to the people around them, you know, and I will feel that. And that's hard for me to respect. That's what I'm talking about, you know? So I'm telling you this because you're somebody who is probably going to at some point be in the public like this. Like, you're going to be doing something where you're helping a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people. I just want you to know that if you ever get to a point where your energy is off, you're going to know it immediately. You're going to need to recenter and refocus, and you're going to have to come back to why you're doing this. You're going to have to remind yourself why you started this to begin with, and that all people are equal. Like, nobody is different than anybody else. We are all the same. We are all one, you know, and we all matter. And even if people are not acting like they should matter, because they're not taking into account how other people matter, you still have to respect them and honor them, and you're there to help them for a reason, you know. So like you losing focus actually doesn't help them, and that's really important to keep in mind all the time. Whenever you start getting a big head about anything that you're doing, like if people start really liking what you're doing, or you get a whole lot of accolades or something, sometimes you will start forgetting why you're doing it. You need to always go back to that. That is so, so, so important. Like, you have to stay in touch with who you are and why you're doing this. And you have to constantly remind yourself every day. You have to say, I am doing this for the good of all. I am not doing this for the good of me. It doesn't matter what I need. It matters what everyone needs, you know? And if you can stay in touch with that energy, you will always stay very, very, very connected, you know, and you'll be, your connection will just keep growing, you know. So it's really important for me to tell someone like you that because these are the struggles that I have, you know, like these are the struggles I have, and I don't have the same way that yours comes up. Like mine's my life purpose number, but you have a sub purpose just like mine, you know? So it's like, if you're going to deal with the public and you're going to actually help raise awareness, I want you to be the best light worker you can be, you know? And I want you to know that it's not about you. It's really, really, really not about you. And that's a really hard thing. That's a really hard concept, you know, is to remove yourself from the work that you're doing, you know? So, and I struggle with that all the time. Like I struggle with that constantly. But anyway, so the reason why I gave you that bracelet, like when you guys ordered the Secret Santa stuff, I gave you that bracelet for motivational speakers. The reason why I gave you that bracelet is because the stones in that bracelet help you with the things that I'm talking about. So like if you ever feel like your throat is blocked, you really should get yourself a necklace of that stone. One of the stones on that bracelet is lapis lazuli. Yeah. It's blue. Any blue stone will work, but lapis is the strongest that I've found. You should always wear it near your throat whenever you're trying to say the right things to the right people at the right times and for them to hear you. You should always wear lapis. Lapis opens your not your third eye. Lapis opens your throat chakra, and it helps you to deliver messages, and it also helps other people to receive your messages. So, and then hematite is also on that bracelet. Hematite, I didn't know this about hematite. I was told this by my guides a few years ago. I always knew that hematite was a protective stone, but I didn't know why exactly. And they told me that because it looks like a mirror, it actually reflects people's energy back at them. So like the reason why I put that in that bracelet is because when you're a motivational speaker, you're going to need people to hear you, and you can't have doubters in the audience saying that you're wrong, you know? So like what will happen is the energy that they project will actually come right back at them. That's what hematite does. It mirrors bad energy back. It mirrors good energy too, which is just a positive. But like it actually protects you. It's a very protective shield when you're doing that kind of work. So it'll help you speak to more people and get through to them, you know? So that's why those stones are on there. Just in case you were wondering why, you know, those are two stones that are really important for any motivational speaker, you know, and probably when you're writing, I would put stones like that on your desk, you know, and same with like the labradorite. The reason why I put the labradorite in your thing is because that will bring your magic to the surface so that other people can see it too, you know, and it'll just help you be better at what you do, you know. So like all of the things that I put in both of your things, they're things to help you. Like in stars, I put that big sphere, the rose quartz.
Oh yeah.
It's all about self-love. Like it's about loving yourself from the inside out, because you can't actually receive love unless you are already loving yourself. You know, like nobody can love you outside if you don't love yourself inside, you know, so it's just really important, you know. So anyway. So I did all your numbers. I know it doesn't seem like it because I go all over the place. I totally did all your numbers. And I did get some new messages as we went, you know, but for the most part, I've really just seen the same things. Like I've seen the same thing the whole time. The only real difference I saw today is that like the only real difference that I'm feeling today that I didn't feel the first time is that you're getting very cemented in your path. Like your ground is becoming really solid. When I first met you, I don't know if you remember, but you were like, I was a little nervous to come do this. And I'm like, I looked at your numbers when you said that, and I went, you're not a nervous person. What do you mean? You're not someone who gets nervous. And I'm like, what do you mean you were nervous? What are you nervous about? And you said that you were nervous that I was going to tell you that you had to do something that you were scared to do that was bigger than you, right? Something like that.
Yeah, not so much scared, but just it was more of a responsibility more than anything. It's like, man, do I have to really do this?
Yeah.
thought it was going to be able to skate through life without actually having to do anything important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of
When
how
you
I felt.
when you told me that, it made so much sense because you really, it's like you were doing pretty good hiding away from it for the most part. Not all the way, because it's going to keep knocking on your door whether you like it or not. But
Yeah.
you were doing pretty good kind of staying under the radar, and kind of being like, yeah, I have all these gifts, but I don't have to use them, not all the way, but you've been using them your whole life. It's just you weren't ready to step into this, I think, when I met you. You weren't sure what you were stepping into either at all. Okay. But like, since we first talked the first time, your energy has solidified around it. And so, like, your gifts have started to grow already, and your acceptance of it has grown a lot. Like, the big difference between then and now is
Right.
you have a different confidence about you now. Like, you have a different understanding of who you are and what you're here for. And Star does too. So, like, both of you have stepped into this now, and that's the beginning of the train going down the tracks. Like, that's the very beginning of it actually happening. So when you first met with me, it was me just like giving you a remembrance. It was me trying to tell you, hey, this is what you said you'd do. But now it's like, now that we've met the second time, it's like, now I know that in that time you have taken that time to really understand that this is who I am and this is what I'm here for, and you've accepted it for the most part. Like, I don't think you still know exactly what you're supposed to do, but I think you're open to look for the signs and to follow the inspired action now,
Right.
Um, I do say writing still, like I wanted to feel into that the whole time we were doing this, because I always want to know that my visions are what they're, I'm not just interpreting them wrong, because, I'm seeing things and interpreting them. But no, I see you writing all the time. Like, every time I try to feel into your energy, I see you writing. So, like, it really is something to do with writing. It's got to be, so I really think, just start maybe some kind of like list, like a brainstorm paper or something, where you just write down all the things you can think of that you care
Right.
about, or that you know about, or that you want to know about, or anything like that. And just start crossing out things you hate and circle the things you like, and then start giving yourself some kind of direction. Also, have you ever done automatic writing?
No.
Okay, so you may want to start trying automatic writing. I know that I'm going to be teaching that in a few months. I just don't know when exactly. Like, I haven't put it on the calendar yet, but that's one of the things we're going to learn in the membership. But it's super easy, and you can get started now if you want to. I actually automatic write on my computer. My daughter does it on her phone. And I know another person that does it like by hand, so it doesn't matter how you do it. It's just, when you start writing, what happens is, like, you start writing in a certain way. Like, you start writing the way that you write, basically. And then I always start asking questions, and then I'll just answer them myself. And what happens is, at some point it turns and you feel it. Like, you feel it where you're the one answering the questions for a while. And then after a while, it kind of turns and someone else is answering through you. And you just know it. Like, you'll know it because you'll get really excited, because you'll be like, oh, what are you going to say next? Because you don't know what you're going to say next, because it's not really you, So it's really fun. I really like automatic writing.
I got shivers when you were explaining that. Actually, that was funny.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the things that you're supposed to do is automatic.
Okay.
So Whitney says, maybe start writing your thoughts like your son asked, and it'll just come out. And that's exactly true. Like, that is how it works.
Yeah. I have so many thoughts though all the time, like literally.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, my mind never stops. Like, it's always going in different ways all the time.
That's the analytical thinker. That's coming from the 7. It's because you're connected to the vibration of flow, and all the inspiration is always coming through you, so you're going to just get a lot of things all the time, like a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of just inspiration in different directions. but you can start asking questions. That's something that I do a lot. I just ask questions and then I'll answer them. And then I ask another question and I answer it, and another question. And at some point it turns where someone else is answering, and it's like my guides, So you could start trying that. You could also try to just write like how you feel about life, like say to yourself, what makes my relationship work? And then answer that question, and what makes my family work, and answer that question. Just like ask yourself some leading questions, see what comes out. Sometimes it'll be you, sometimes you'll know that it's not you, but I think that's going to lead you into writing, like that kind of stuff, So, yeah. And like your philosophy on life, like you have a lot of ideas about life, about how it works, and those may be different ideas than other people have. Other people may be fascinated with the way you think life works, like I ask myself, well, what does it mean? What is a parallel reality? What does that mean? Like, where do we go and what do we do and how does that actually work? And I start just answering it. Like I'll start typing and answering it because I don't know what it means. I don't know how it works. But then the more I do that, I start getting answers in that from somewhere else. That's how I started understanding it.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So anyway, so do you have any questions about your numbers or anything like, along these lines, or anything different at all, actually?
I don't think so. How about you, honey?
Okay.
No, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think, the questions that I did have were, we've either spoke to them in the past or we kind of talked to them. And I'm actually really thankful for Steph. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Coming on. So I really wish we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
That would be really, really, like he helped me realize a lot of things today, just him helping out. So
Steph does this thing where he opens you up. Like he's aware of it though. Like he has a way that he actually opens you up. Like he did something while we were doing our reading where he actually opened my awareness at one point, like on something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember like feeling it and I remember it happening. So I'm going to schedule something with just us three, and and Star, of course.
Star.
Like, I just count you as like you and Jose are when you need. Yeah, you're just one person. But yeah, you're always welcome to participate in everything. But yeah, I'm going to schedule something with him and you, and I think that'll just be fun, just to talk, like not, whatever, however it goes, I don't care,
that's really cool.
Really fun.
Yeah. And if anyone else has any questions, put them in the comments, either questions for me or questions for Jose, and we'll answer a few questions before we get off here. If anyone's even still here. I think they're still here. But
I think they're tired of talking.
They're like, stop talking.
Yeah, they're tired of listening about Jose. It's like, oh my God. Okay, that's enough.
Actually, you're really fascinating. Like, you are a really dynamic person. And the things that you're doing, it's so weird because you really only have two numbers. And you just have a lot of those two numbers. And so concentrated, they mean a lot of things, like they mean so much. So they all say that they're still here.
Okay.
I love you guys. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to give you like another minute and then we're going to get off of here if nobody has questions. So Catherine says, it was so interesting. Thanks for letting this be shared. Yeah, thank you for being so vulnerable, honestly. Like, it's not easy for people to let people into their world like this. I know that it's a little bit of it's kind of like a microscope on your life, like it's somebody exposing who you are, so I know that that's not easy to do publicly. So
to be honest with you, I like it because if it helps anybody, even just one person, if it helps them to realize something about something that they're going through or something that, oh, wow, that kind of, talks about me a little bit too.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm that type of person, I'll talk to anybody. I don't care who it is. If it just kind of helps them, even if I don't ever see that person again, in just my interaction with that person, that's the type of person that I am. So
yeah.
And I'm too shy to do it.
Yeah. Well, you and him are both definitely in this mission together. You are totally like the support behind what he does, and then he is the support for you. Like, it's so weird. Like, when I looked at both of your numbers, it was so weird to see how well you guys work together. It was like everything that you need, he has, and everything that he needs, you have,
Oh yeah.
and you guys really, really complement each other, which, believe it or not, I know it comes easy for you guys. That's very unusual. Like, not everyone has that. And I hope you guys value it, like, to every degree that you can. I think you do, but
yeah, we know we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
We do.
We
yeah.
do this thing every night at the end of the day, when we're laying down, we just kind of like, talk to each other and we tell each other how lucky we are.
That's awesome.
We
That's
do.
awesome. Yeah. So if you had advice for people about making a relationship work, each of you, what would that be? Like, the best advice?
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Communicate. Just and respecting each other's.
Yeah,
Even
definitely
if you don't
respect.
agree with them, you just gotta respect them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of people, you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship with someone, it's good to feel like you're one person, but at the same time, there's two different personalities.
Yeah.
And it's important to know that respect, that there's two people in that relationship and that they're both equally important.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's how I see it. And yeah, be very, very open with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And let them be themselves. Whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Just let them be themselves. Whatever they want to do.
And don't take things personal either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard sometimes. When the other person says something, it's not personal. And it's tough sometimes because you really care about that person, so you take things personal. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about like raising kids together? Has that been easy or hard or what?
I started most of the work. So I was going to school during that time a lot. So it actually took me a long time to get through school just because I had a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I had to do it, after work kind of thing. So I mean, I spend a lot of the time gone, to be honest with you. But it's something that I don't feel like I lost. I mean, I did leave some time with my kids, of course, but Star and I, we always try to do things together. Whenever there was any time, we would always do things together. We would always go places, just even to the park, just spend some time together. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What I really like about your relationship is that you're growing together. Like, I love that when you came into the training, you were talking about that book that you read, and you said that you got to like the first chapter or two, and then you said, "Oh, Star would love this." So you stopped so that she could do it with you. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't do it that way. Like, a lot of people will like go through something that they love and then tell their partner, but you're like, you literally stopped and said, no, we're going to start again together and we're going to do it together.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
I love that. Like,
yeah,
I just love that.
Yeah, even if I'm watching like a show or something and like, oh, Star would really like this, I'm gonna stop. Because I want to see it with her. I want her to experience it too. So
we like to do stuff.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I think you guys could teach so much about relationships, because you guys are very harmonious. I'm sure it's not been perfect, but like, you guys are so harmonious and you're so considerate of each other, and that's really unusual,
Yeah.
So,
and it just seems so natural though to be considerate of him.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
It's because you guys respect so much. You respect each other so much, and you honor each other in that respect. That's not how a lot of people operate. You know, like a lot of people are thinking about what they need and what they're not getting and things like that. You guys are really good at honoring each other, you know, and that is very different. I think it's very different. So I don't know. I think it's really cool. I think you guys are a great model for everybody. So
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Funny, we don't feel like that.
No,
but
I
it
mean
just
we're
feels
definitely not.
normal.
We're definitely not perfect.
Oh no.
no, but nobody's perfect. We're human. You know, you're not supposed to be perfect, but you're doing a really good job. So
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We're trying.
yeah, of course. All right.
It's touch and go every day.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, I'm going to end this. And if anyone has any questions later, definitely ask. And if you guys, of course, have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. So, all right. And we'll be doing this again on the 7th with Catherine. And we'll be doing it again on the 14th with Whitney and her husband. So only her husband won't be on camera, which is totally fine. So, all right. I'll see you guys later. I hope everybody has a great night. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.